Yeah, we'll grow out the community this year, and we'll grow out into what the show is going to be. I was actually working on that this morning. I was trying to think of where the show is going to go this year. So I was making up a quick list. Let me see if I can get this up here, and you'll see where I'm thinking about the direction should be, or where we should be going. Let's go back to blank here. Let's go to display capture. What we're looking for is just that corner there. Let's go. That's the wrong kind of shade up. I think we want. And I'm gonna struggle with stuff, and I'm gonna do silly things, and we'll make mistakes, but that's okay. No, that was the right one. Why was it not coming up right? I only won't lay it. Okay, well, okay. Well, you can see it. So I was trying to think of what our schedule should be as we go. Good morning, shirt of the day, movie of the day, play the game of the day, dad jokes, game dev, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Our raid call, and then send to raid. That's kind of the base structure that I'm looking at right now, which I think is a good start for us. Is that where we're going to end up by the end of the year? Probably not. We'll be working towards that. As far as the game dev, item 6 is, we did this thing yesterday for where I was just talking about how to just do a base setup for a game, a base world thing. And I think we're going to expand on that a bit. So what I thought I'd do, and we'll probably start it on Monday, although we'll look at it a little bit today. So I put this together. Hopefully it'll come up. Where did I put it? Oh, that is the wrong one. That is not what we wanted. We want it on this one. And of course I closed it. Okay, so we have this, which is what we were working on yesterday. Some of you guys will remember it. Where we were doing just our base of how to design a game and stuff like that. And I literally put this together. I think I did it in like 10 minutes yesterday or something like that. But what I thought we'd do is I was going to gather up all my notes from a game that I thought about way back on StarCraft 1, which actually fits this model. And we're going to spend about an hour a day or so designing a game, and going through it, and how I would do it, not necessarily how the industry does it, but how I would do it, and then we'll go from there. Because if you guys remember from yesterday, we talked about creating characters and building out areas. So like in this, we have the forest, and then we have our main character and his grandfather, and some stuff about him, things like that. Then we have the village and the town, the things in the village. Then we have the mine, and then the grandfather's brother runs the mines and stuff. And then we have the train station and all that stuff. But we're going to build this out a lot more. And literally, we're going to design a game. Is what we're going to do. And we're going to start pretty heavily in this on Monday. So we'll see how, StarCraft 1, way back 1998, I had this idea for another game. And what I had done, and this is so silly, is I had built the intro in the StarCraft engine because I wanted to learn the StarCraft mapping tool. But I always learn better if I have a project to go with it. So I made a project where there was just a building, and the grandfather was like teaching in the building, and the bad guys come in and they beat up the grandfather, and then the bad guys go away, and then the kid comes back from whatever errand grandfather sent him on, and finds his grandfather dead, and then goes to avenge his grandfather. So I set this whole thing up in the StarCraft engine, and then hit play, and there was a lot of figuring it out, because you couldn't, in the StarCraft engine, in the original one, you couldn't say start at point A, start at point B. You had to do a whole bunch of stuff in code to make it walk where you wanted it to walk and stuff like that. So and then I went out, then he would go out, and then you would play the level, and it was pretty cool. And then they changed the engine, they changed the map editor, and it never worked again. And I'm like, oh. But then I thought, you know what? This is actually a really good base layout for that story. So on Monday, we're going to start from the beginning with a blank page. We're going to do, and we're going to build that story out. We're going to build that world out. And then, this John Wick 5 script now. But like I was saying, is one of the things we were talking about, I was talking about that you should use the tools that you have to try to figure out what you want to do. So like in the case of my outline for the book, this is the outline for the book, and it that people have been here for a while have seen quite a bit. And the blue ones are my early childhood. Everything from the color up is from the time I started at Blizzard and moved up. And this is based on the Post-it wall that I had in my house for years. OC, that's a very good question. What engine will I be using it? I don't know. And this is the point, is you don't need to think about what engine you're going to use sometimes until you know what your game is. Yes, the way that we talked about it yesterday, the game would be perfect for Game Maker Studio. It'd be a perfect game for that. However, you could do it in Unreal. You could do it any way you want. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. But my belief is if you have your North Star or your story locked down first, then you can decide on what your actual platform is going to be later. Thor also said about it a lot. I don't know what he said about. Okay. That gives me no information. Oh, okay. No, what is this? StarCraft 1 was the first game I bought with money I earned myself. Well, at 14, thank Camp Renewed. Thank you very much for paying for my first house and my Cobra. I appreciate it. Like I said, OC, I'm not even thinking about what the engine is yet. I'm thinking about what the game is. So if you have a good game, the engine is sometimes not even shouldn't even be a thought. Make the game, make the story, make everything work first. If it plays well on paper, it'll play well in a game. Artemis, welcome back. Thor would say engine doesn't matter unless you have an idea for the mechanics. Yeah, that's true. Davy's Art Corner. For those of you that are new, please put an @YourJoy in your comments if you're talking directly to me, so that I can recognize it from people having conversations outside of me. Thanks. The engine doesn't matter at first. The engine will matter later, and you will have to make adjustments to your design based on the engine that you choose. Any quick specific advice where to start to improve in world building? That's what we were talking about yesterday. Is once you get your outlines and you get your basics up, then you go in for the specifics. That's where it starts. But you start in one spot. It's like cleaning a room. You clean one spot and you work your way outward. I know it sounds oversimplified, and it probably is, but in all honesty, if you don't have the one clean spot, if you don't have the one thing that defines the game, then you're going to keep treading water, and you're going to keep changing things till you just get tired of the whole thing and throw it away. Yeah, we're gonna emo right. We're gonna start with simplification. So pencil and paper. That's where I'm going to start with this, and we will see how far we get.